Welcome to Mazungumzo, African Scholarly Conversations, a podcast that highlights the perspectives of various stakeholders in academia and research fields across Africa through open dialogue or Mazungumzo on scholarly communication in Africa.
Welcome to Mazungumzo, African Scholarly Conversations. We are joined by an expansive list of African policymakers, science communication specialists, innovators, and tertiary education leads who contribute to this realm of science communication. This week's guest has walked quite a great distance, figuratively, what he is today. Our guest is Kenneth Monjero, founder and pioneer of Fan Education Global Network. Kenneth Monjero is a biotechnologist working with the Kenya Agricultural Livestock Research Organization, KALRO, and he's based at the Biotechnologist Center. He is also the lead of the KALRO Children's Science Center, and he's also a former TCC Africa trainee, and he's also a postgraduate in crop science from the University of Nairobi. He is well known globally by students as Dr. Fan, as he comes up with ingenious ways for making children between 5 to 18 years appreciate the beauty and importance of science. Welcome to the program, Kenneth.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Joy. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so humbled to join you on such kind of a noble task of reaching out through your this program.
Karibu sana. Now, could you tell us a bit about your background and how you became involved in scholarly communication?
Yes, this is a very hearty topic in terms of, especially in the times that we are living in terms of a young person upcoming all the way from primary school, high school. And I came also from a compromised background with a high population and low knowledge in terms of education. So most of our family members never went beyond class 8, my cousins and all that. But due to my passion to see how education had changed the world, we used to see, people flying up there in the air on aeroplane and say, those are the ones who went to school. So it really motivated me to really progress and proceed and aspire to not only just reach Form 4, but to go to university and also be among those who are bringing changes in terms of, research. And I would also say that when I came to science communication, it's because I realized that there's many scientists, but no one to communicate their science. And it always bothered me to ask, should scientists become journalists, or should journalists become scientists? Because for us to bridge the gap between industry and education and to increase the uptake of science career, we really need to communicate what is the relevance of science in our society. So that kind of part of engagement, public participation in science was really a big missing link. And I'm so glad that I came across TCC because it's through you guys, through your training, and it was amazing to know how even to communicate because I never knew that. I knew how to do research, but now I'm so passionate that I know how to package that research and tailor it to suitability to the non-scientific audience.
Oh, thank you so much for the kind words. And I'm glad that TCC Africa has been part of your journey when it comes to disseminating research. Now, you came up with the concept of Fan and Education Global Network. Tell us, what inspired you to create the Fan and Education Global Network, and what need did you feel that needed to be addressed?
Thank you for that question. My main aspiration in my academic journey, and more so in my research, the research that we've been doing together with other scientists, has been to see how to repackage the information and get it out there. And when I went for studies in science communication on how to engage the public, transdisciplinary research in terms of engaging, the public. And when I say the public, I'm really talking about adults who are in non-scientific fields with science. So then later on, I came to realize it's not a matter of engaging the public. The main key point to attract, a majority or multitude into science careers should start all the way from children, from early education, basic education. And now with my passion being a Sunday school teacher, I wanted to see how do children interact with scientists. And I think I had a long time observing this through, when primary school kids line up to visit a lab and you look at, their high curiosity. Yeah, we have arrived, we are here. And they're really, really like amazed by their arrival to a research institution. But when they just walk in the labs, you realize when they meet the scientist, everything changes. Why? Because they don't connect with the scientist due to how the scientists package the information. The scientists were not repackaging the scientific content to suitability to these young learners. They were actually passing their scientific information directly as packaged within the scientific domain and delivering it to these learners. So it's just like jargon. And that's one, I realized that the learners are not connected with the scientists. Number two is there was no fun. They walk from lab to lab. You are being shown which equipment, what machines, what kind of work goes on, how many publications have been done there so far. And you realize that these learners are like just walking through. So it was not interactive. It was not attractive. And that's how I thought, how can we engage learners into fun and education? No, so that they're not just having fun, but they are learning. They are attracted, because young learners, you cannot attract them by just being serious on science. And that's why when you tell children, can you draw a scientist? They will draw somebody, one who is old and somebody who is in a lab coat, and then someone who is very serious. They won't draw a young person, very active or joyous and all that. Why? Because they've just seen, science is boring. So that's one thing that provoked me to start Fun and Education Global Network. But of course, the other thing is learners learn in isolation. So if you go to any school, teachers know there is no inter and all that. Even if there is, they're quite limited. So that's also what provokes to how can learners learn and do projects across and engage, of course, scientists and all that. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's what provoked this.
Oh, fantastic. Now, what have been the highlights of the Fun and Education Network?
Yeah, what I would say is indeed, Fun and Education Global Network is a special of its kind. One, we have managed to within, it was started just in 2021 during the COVID, in terms of we managed to go to Italy with learners and teachers. And we have also managed to take them to South Africa and such, and Botswana. So I would say we've had to touch teachers, learners, and parents. And I believe about CBC, competence-based curriculum.
Yes.
It's really advocating to engage learners, cutting across. Parents are involved, teachers are involved, and the learners themselves. So when we see the joy on the face of parents, having traveled with the learners, and also the joy by teachers, because most of the teachers, they never believe even when they go out of the country, leave alone even out of Africa, just going, flying, taking flight. I think maybe someone should look into how many teachers have actually boarded an aeroplane. You'll find very few. And yet these are the potential learners who can do research and all that at that young level. It's because our assumption is these learners, we need them to be leaders of tomorrow. But we forget that they are leaders today and tomorrow. So I would say those are key highlights. And apart from that, we've been able to establish science club in schools. And it might be an assumption that there are able schools, high ranking or high level schools that have all these that we are talking about. No, it's not that way. You find that some of those schools don't have, practicals that are tailored to fun and learning. So we've had to engage quite a number of schools. We've gone also to marginalized areas as far as Baringo, Turkana, and all that, to really engage learners. So we are not only looking at schools in able areas like Nairobi or so, but we are going also to marginalized areas. And indeed, what we live there in terms of capacity development and utilization of local resources to do science is just amazing.
Oh, interesting. So in this whole process, how has Open Science supported you in the dissemination of research and working with children in making them appreciate the beauty and the importance of science?
Open science is the way to go. I would start by that, because one is the way I'm talking about learners learning in isolation. There has also been those kinds of isolation within the research fraternity, because there are scientists, institutions that have been doing research in isolation. Isolation might not really be that no one comes to your labs or so, but whatever you publish is restricted. So you realize that now you are not sharing unless otherwise another organization signs up and such. So Open Science has really given us, one is sharing of content without those kinds of limitations, as well as interactiveness across scientists and also scientific content. So I would say this has been the way to go, because you see, like, for instance, if you go online, you'll get a lot of information. And if you don't have a way of sieving that information, then you might end up doing the wrong thing and then wasting resources. So, but with Open Science, in terms of especially, open access, publications and all that, it's really made the work, in an easier way, because we can access reliable content, especially science rides on facts and not fiction. So, and this is way to get all those facts. And then also it reduces issues of, repeating what has been done or what is being done elsewhere. So we learn from each other and we engage. And I would say a lot of content that is tailored to science communication I've really gotten from various open source journals and such kind of platforms. Oh. And despite that, apart from that, you see TCC has also come up with how can we bring these scientists together to work together, to know each other. So this is the best way of getting access to the network across the world.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. For that important comment on how Open Science is also supporting science communication, particularly with the young audience that you're targeting. So with that said and done, what would you say are the ways in which the Fund Education and Global Network has promoted access to scientific innovation in Kenya and perhaps in the continent?
Yeah, I think that's very true. I would say that we have really supported innovation, and not only supporting innovation, but actually finding where the innovation is and this innovator. Because we normally say you cannot appreciate innovation unless otherwise you also link with the innovator themselves. So I would say, especially in marginalized areas, there are schools in marginalized areas that you might not, or most of other stakeholders that are looking at innovation don't reach to. And also maybe an assumption that a well-up school has more innovation than schools in marginalized areas. But we have gone to these schools and raised their curiosity. That's one. And number two, changed their attitudes because most of these learners, even if they are in the same system, it's a Kenyan system and all that, and these disparities also even occur even at the university level and colleges. Someone says, I'm from this college, it's better than this college. So you realize those disparities kind of reduce the morale of either these students to innovation. So we have really changed that mindset, and then we have also engaged these learners to really think, design thinking approach in terms of Kenyans, solving Kenyan problems, because we are the ones who really face the situation and all that. And these learners in various schools have such a wonderful opportunity, because a student in Turkana might be facing a very different challenge than a student in Nairobi. So looking at that environment and tailoring that design thinking and coming up with innovative approaches or products that can actually suit the region has really been one of our observations. The other thing is linking these schools to other schools across the globe, developed countries, developing countries, in all parameters. They also share the innovations they have. And you realize that this awakens other learners to think, oh no, so I was thinking of this and this. And when they bring those kinds of innovations on board, maybe you might find that what was affecting them is the issue of resources in terms of finances. Now, we can be able to give them a pathway to connect with other schools, and they support the same innovation. And of course, working with the other, stakeholders, the way I'm saying TCC, as well as, other organizations that could really fund or support such kind of innovations to bring them to speed in terms of product development or patenting and such kind of things.
So with the great work that you're doing, how can people and organizations support your work?
Yeah, what I would say is for sustainability, or as we're looking at the SDGs, the only way to realize all these SDGs or various strategies towards even feeding the population, the 2050 population that we are talking about is rising. We're talking about reduced levels of employment, absorption in the industry, white collar jobs and all that. So what I'm looking at is every institution should have support of children or young people should be part and parcel of their strategy. And that is the way we can, that's the way I said, like when we are looking at innovation, or when we are looking at uptake of STEM careers, or in whatever way, the best way is to start early as possible. So when we engage them, because even like the industry has been complaining that they are not getting the skilled personnel from the university, while the universities are saying we are training every year. We have graduates lined up for the industry. So how can we bridge the gap and ensure that the industry is getting the right product in terms of human resource, as well as universities have a feeding system to the industry? So the best way is to start early and impact them with the skills. And I highly appreciate, because now there is competence-based education system. And if we work together with the industry, then we are able to shape the younger generation, not for tomorrow only, but also for today. Because now the world is looking at how can we engage even high school students for internships, for attachments and such. So it's no longer like waiting for university and then now you have done the specialization. It's going to start as early as high school level. So I would say the best way is to support especially marginalized areas. Because like now when we are going to marginalized areas, those schools cannot be able to support the science materials and such kind of engagement. It's very hard. So, and yet there are other schools that can support other schools. And I always advocate for this, because you find like a school having vast of land and they're doing nothing about it. And there's another school that's waiting for food and a donation. Why not use this school to supply to the needy school in the neighborhood? So those are the things that I say, if we work together, then we'll have a better today and tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. Thank you for the passion that you have for this, helping children understand and appreciate science. I really wish you the best with the Fan Education Global Network, and truly thank you for making time to join our podcast. Do have a lovely day, Kenneth.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, TCC, for what you're doing. Keep it up. You have the right platform, and behind the right platform, you are the right drive for this. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you, and bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us in today's episode of Mazungumzo Podcast. See you in our next episode.